Hi there, welcome to Nepi Invest. In today's video, I'm going to give an update to a company called Swoop. This is a telecommunications company on the ASX that listed in May 2021. So the company has just celebrated the 1 year anniversary on the ASX. Unfortunately for the company and its shareholders, it has not been smooth sailing since they listed. In fact, the share price is at all-time lows and the share price is in a well-defined downtrend. But I just thought I'd take a look at how this company is performing because they're in an interesting space. They are a growing independent fixed wireless network company. So you can go to their website and just look at some of their plans they do have on offer. So if you are thinking about changing your internet provider, maybe Swoop is the company for you. For instance, they have a fixed wireless 60, which is 60 megabits per second, and they do have that set at 20 if you probably go over a certain amount each month. They also have an NBN Home Fast, which is 100 megabits per second, a fixed wireless 120, and a fixed wireless 150. And all these are throttled at 20 megabits per second if you go over a certain amount. I'm not sure what those amounts are. The internet provider I'm on right now is unlimited, which I love to bits. In fact, the internet provider I'm using right now, I've been with for 15 years. So I have no problems with the company I am with, but I won't discuss that company. This video is all about Swoop. So let's take a look at how Swoop has been performing over the past year. But before we have a look at how this company has performed over the past year, just some few facts in regards to Swoop. The company listed on the ASX the 27th of May 2021. The current CEO is Alex West. I believe he had some role with Superloop and then he changed roles, became the CEO with Swoop. I think he might have been the CEO with Superloop. I could be completely mistaken there, but definitely had some role with Superloop. And current shareholders, one of the biggest shareholders is WAM. They have a 7% holding in Swoop. And now to the market cap of the company. And one of the reasons why I'm a little bit more interested in this company right now is just how the share price has decreased. And with the share price decreasing, the valuation or the market cap of this company is at interesting levels right now compared to what it was when the company, just after the company listed. So if we go back to the share price high for Swoop, which was reached on the 22nd of September last year, at that point in time, the share price of Swoop was $2.46. That gave a market cap of this company 357 million, but the share price has decreased from $2.46 to 50 cents. So it has decreased fivefold over the past 9 months. And that gives a market cap of this company $73 million. But when we look at the chart, you'll see there's a lot of negative sentiment in this company and the share price is in a well-defined downtrend, which is what you should expect if the share price has decreased fivefold over the past 9 months. And the ticker code for Swoop is SWP. Now, the first time I took interest in Swoop was back in December 2021 when they actually did release profit upgrade. And typically when a company releases a profit upgrade, that can improve sentiment. But at this point in time, sentiment had shifted from positive to negative. And this wasn't enough to ultimately shift the sentiment from Swoop to positive and increase the share price. So even though the company did release a profit upgrade, this had no effect on the sentiment over the short to medium term. And as I mentioned, typically when a company does release a profit upgrade, there's going to be some positive reaction from the market. And that positive reaction could be the catalyst for re-rating or a significant re-rating in the share price of a company. And it could also be the breakout in the share price. Unfortunately for Swoop, when they released this particular profit upgrade, the share price was in a downtrend. And in fact, the share price had fallen from about $1.80 to about $1.44 over 6 trading days. And whenever you see that sort of share price decrease just before a positive announcement from the company, typically that positive announcement will fail in terms of shifting sentiment in the company, and it definitely failed for Swoop. On the day they released the profit upgrade, share price did increase by about 10% or maybe just over 10% from about $1.45 to about $1.60. But then we started to see the share price drift downwards from there. So this was not a breakout in the share price. this did not shift the sentiment in the company. Sentiment at this point in time, which was late December, was negative for Swoop. And you can see the effects of negative sentiment when we look at the chart for Swoop from December all the way to current times, which I will show you later in the video. Now on to looking at how Swoop has performed over the past year since they listed on the ASX. And the first thing I want to look at is their very first Appendix 4C the company did release, which was their June quarter results for financial year 21. And I wouldn't say it was a great quarter. $6.2 million of receipts, but the company was operating cash flow negative by $3.5 million. Now, through the IPO process, they did raise $20 million, which means the cash on hand actually did increase from $5.9 million to $18.1 million. So the whole reason why this company went through the IPO process was to increase their cash on hand. And more than likely, one of the reasons to increase their cash on hand was to either use it for working capital reasons, because they were burning through cash at this point in time, or for acquisition. So let's have a look to see what the company has done over the past 9 months. And as we take a look at the most recent Appendix 4C from the company, which was for the March quarter in financial year 22, things are progressing really well for Swoop. Receipts have more than doubled, up to 13.8 million. The company was operating cash flow positive in this particular quarter by 933,000, and they're operating cash flow positive for the first 9 months of the year, financial year, to the tune of $3.8 million. Now, Swoop does spend a fair bit of money on capital expenditure in this particular quarter, $2.9 million. And the main reason I think they probably spend money on capital expenditure is because of infrastructure, building out their infrastructure, their fixed wireless network systems. And that's very typical for these type of companies. So don't be surprised to see Swoop spend a fair bit of money on capital expenditure over the next few years to build out their infrastructure further. Now, they have plenty of cash on hand, and at the end of this quarter, they had $40.5 million of cash. Not only that, they have no debt. So the enterprise value right now for Swoop is $33 million. And that does seem fairly low for a company that is growing, a company that is operating cash flow positive, that is building out their infrastructure. And for those reasons, this company is interesting to me. But there is one reason why I won't take a position in that company, and that will become evident in 2 slides' time. One of the things I do when a company has IPO'd is I just want to see how the company has spent the money raised through the IPO process. And Swoop did provide this in one of their presentations, possibly even their Appendix 4C. I just wanted to see how they spent $26.3 million, which is the amount of money they raised through this prospectus. So $11.3 million they spent on fixed wireless and core network expenditure and deployment across Sydney, Melbourne, and key regional areas in Perth. So that's capital expenditure. This is something I think that will be ongoing for the company over the next few years, just to build up their infrastructure, to increase their business, and to move into other areas as well. They're also fairly acquisitive. They do buy a few businesses. So they spent $6.6 million on acquisitions of complementary businesses and associated costs. So that's where most of the money they're spending is going to, is capital expenditure and acquisitions. So Swoop is looking interesting to me based off their financials, based off their growth. I haven't provided a cash receipts history for you because they've only issued 3 Appendix 4Cs right now. So I do prefer at least 8 to see if there is any trend. But looks like, based off 3 quarters of history, the trend is definitely up when it comes to receipts and revenue. Some of that is because of acquisitions, but definitely there is some organic growth for Swoop. Now, the main reason I'm probably not interested in taking a position in Swoop just yet is the chart. This is a really negative looking chart. Share price is in a well-defined downtrend. And the dashed line I have was a share price low just after they did IPO. So share price when they IPO'd was around about $1.20. And then the share price fell to about 88 cents and then hovered just above 88 cents for a few months. Then it took off. In fact, it took off from 88 cents to that high of about $2.45, which was reached in September of 2021. But the share price has been drifting lower ever since then. When the share price actually did hit that low we saw just after they IPO'd, we did see a bit of a bounce. So again, technicals showing us that support levels are very important. Psychology plays a massive part in the trading of shares. And this again should be proof of that, where we did see a bounce off a really strong support level with SWOOP. And then the share price started to drift down. So the bounce we did see when the share price did reach 88 cents wasn't really strong. We didn't see really strong volume. The share price just went back up to the moving averages and then started to drift down again. And then around about May of this year, share price just fell through that support level. It did not hold. So that was a very bearish sign when it comes to the trading of SWOOP. And the share price has gone from about 88 cents to a current share price of around 50 cents. And to be honest with you, there is no end in sight to the share price dropping for SWOOP. It could drop another 50%, 75%, or maybe it could have reached its low. We just don't know at this point in time. I need confirmation that this downtrend has come to an end before I become interested in taking position in this company. But things are going well in the business, it seems, based off their financials. So it wouldn't be surprised to see eventually the market become interested in this company and this downtrend in the share price coming to a completion. If you do have any thoughts about SWOOP, if you have further insights, I'd love to hear it from you. So leave it in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.